Yeah. McNugget, what up? Des Martinez. TK421. Rodrigo. Julian C. Alan C. Eraserhead. Great name, bro. Great name. Bring that beat back. Hamoudi, what up? Crazy Baller G's. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Adler Kelly, what up? Yeah. Run it back, Nation. What is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. I'm a little lean back in the chair right now. That's how we're going to do the show. Because the Philadelphia 76ers gave no effort. So why should I give effort? All right. Check it out. Hit the like button on the stream. That is first and foremost. That helps me out greatly. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new or you watch these shows all the time and you're not subscribed. That is fraudulent behavior. We just watched the game on playback.tv/runitbackphilly. It was a blast. If you're not over there, you're behind technology, man. It's time to get over there. It's time to join the party. And we are on podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every other podcast platform under Merkle Media. Beautiful mastered audio. And you can get all of these episodes over there. You guys keep asking me to bring back the post-game lives. So here we are. So I'm doing the game stream on two different platforms, YouTube and Playback TV. And then I'm coming to do the post-game live. So the fact that I just watched the whole game and was on stream, and then I do post-game live, I need you to help me out in doing the post-game live, all right? I'm going to give my thoughts on the game, and then I'm going to need you to call the show. That's how these post-game lives are going to go. I'm going to give my thoughts on the game, then I'm going to need you to call the show. Because I need your thoughts just as much as you need mine. All right? Thanks for being here. Again, hit the like button. Let's get right down to business. The Philadelphia 76ers lose to the 19-23 Oklahoma City Thunder, 133-14. And that is frustrating for a couple of different reasons. The first reason it's frustrating is that the Sixers, before Embiid went down with the ankle and everything, we were on some winning streaks. We had a 9-game win streak at one point. We had another little win streak here or there. The frustrating part is that we're watching the team play the Detroit Pistons or the Chicago Bulls. Well, actually, we lost to the Bulls. Zach LaVine had 11 threes in that game. When this team plays a terrible team, we celebrate. Joel Embiid had a historic performance, a stat line, 36 and whatever in minimum amount of minutes, the first time it's ever been done. We celebrate. James Harden had a historic stat line. He had a 16 points and 16 assists on 94% true shooting percentage. We celebrate this, we celebrate that against the Detroit Pistons. The reason this is frustrating is because nobody cares about the Detroit Pistons. Nobody cares about those games. Nobody cares about at least 30 games in an 82-game NBA season. Nobody gives a shit about at least 30 of them. But we're bored. We don't have anything to do. So we celebrate beating the Detroit Pistons. We celebrate beating the whoever else with a plethora of injuries, the New Orleans Pelicans, even though we lost them the first game. We celebrate a lot of these lackluster, boring, waste of time games because the NBA makes you play 82. And then we play a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who record-wise are not good, but roster-wise have a lot of young talent. What do the Sixers not have? A lot of young talent. What do the Sixers struggle with? Defending young talent. What do the Sixers struggle with? Defense at the rim. What do the Sixers struggle with? Rebounding. Transition defense. And as could have been easily predicted, the Oklahoma City Thunder here's kind of the reason I wanted to stop doing these. I'm saying the same thing every night. In the third quarter, for the third straight year, I'm saying the same thing every night. In the third quarter, the Philadelphia 76ers got out-hustled, out-rebounded, outworked on the glass. They got beat in the paint. They got beat in every facet of the game in the third quarter. It's the same thing every night. So let's first go look at what happened in the team stats comparison and how the Philadelphia 76ers got beat mainly in that third quarter. But here you go. Leading point scorer, Shai Gilgeous. I'm sorry. Cue the sixth man. Correct me. Shai Gilgeous Alexander had 37 points on 10 of 16 from the floor, 16 for 16 from the free throw line. And I will say he got a lot of generous calls. Embiid had 10 free throws. Embiid got a couple generous calls too. But man, those referees were really giving Shai the superstar treatment down the stretch. A couple of fouls on DeAnthony Melton, a couple of fouls on Tyrese Maxey, a couple of just... we lost the game. we deserved to lose the game. But the officials, kind of put the nail in our coffin towards the end. All right, here you go. Team stats. OKC, 51% from the field. Philly, 44%. Oklahoma City shot 43% from three. We shot 30%. That ain't going to get it done. 30% from the three-point line in today's game ain't going to get it done. We had 17 turnovers. They had 11. We tied in rebounds. But the frustrating part about that is that we were winning the rebound game for most of this game. The first half, I think we out-rebounded them by 12. And I was saying at halftime on the stream, I was saying, wow, the Philadelphia 76ers are actually out-rebounding another NBA team. And what happened in the third quarter? We got destroyed on the boards in the third quarter. Destroyed on the boards in the third quarter. And we end the game tied in the rebound margin. Full team stats. Do we even want to see this? What else do we need to see? Free throws, rebounds, offensive rebounds. We had 9, they had 5. That's shocking. I think all 5 of those came in the third quarter, though. We had 30 assists, they had 28. They had 7 steals. They had 6 blocks. We had 17 turnovers. They beat us in the fast break points, of course, because the Philadelphia 76ers absolutely never, ever, 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 ever win in the fast break point category. They had 21 fast break points. We had 12. The Oklahoma City Thunder had 52 points in the paint to our 44. Yeah, we're still one of the worst teams defending the rim in the entire NBA. And their largest lead was 21. And our largest lead was 4. Why can't I ever go to this box score part, bro? Come on, ESPN, what are you doing to me? You got to hit here and then scroll real fast. No? There it is. Okay. Box score. Here you go. We couldn't stop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay. He had 37 points on 10 of 16. Josh Giddey had 20 points on 7 of 14, had 8 assists. Great game from Josh Giddey. Both Jalen Williams combined for 25. They had 14 off the bench from Trey Mann, who was 2 for 5 from 3 and also had 2 assists. Here's the Sixers stat line. All right, James Harden, 24 points, 15 assists, 5 for 10 from 3, 6 for 13 from the field. It doesn't look like a bad game for James Harden. That looks like a very efficient game from James Harden. But James Harden in the fourth quarter absolutely burned out. James Harden burned out in the fourth quarter. Most of these stats right here for James Harden came in the first 2.5 quarters. By the fourth quarter, when we really needed something to happen, when we really needed a player to, step up and bring us back, when we were fighting, I'll give it to us, we were fighting in the fourth quarter, fighting with the Oklahoma City Thunder, which should be sad. But we were fighting in the fourth quarter, I'm sorry. We cut the lead down to, I think, 6 at one point. And James Harden got the ball a couple of times in a couple situations where we really could have used a big bucket. And, man, he was just burned out. At one point, he shot a wide open 3 that really would have closed the gap. And he shanked it off the side of the rim. And then he had it wide open one the next possession, and he passed it back to Tyrese Maxey. He didn't even want to shoot it because he was gassed. Look at the minutes again for James Harden, 36. He's gassed. Remember the overtime game where he missed 2 free throws in a row? And he said in that press conference, I was tired. He's leading the NBA in minutes per game. James Harden is leading the NBA in minutes per game. He's 33 years old and just spent a whole offseason trying to get back in shape after 2 years of rehabbing a hamstring. And he's leading the NBA in minutes per game. Doc Rivers is a war criminal at this point. So James Harden, stat-wise, when you look at this box score, it was a pretty good game. For the first half, I thought he was balling. The first quarter, I think he had 9 points in the first quarter. I thought maybe we were going to get a 40-piece from James, but it seems like a trend now that he starts out hot. He has a lot of energy, a lot of bounciness, a lot of spring, a lot of quickness off the ball. His first step's quick and everything for the first 2.5 quarters. Then he burns out, man. And is that James Harden's fault? No. It's the fact that for the regular season, 33-year-old James Harden should probably be playing 29 minutes, 28 minutes. So there's my take on James Harden. Now here's my take on Joel Embiid. Again, a good box score. You're going to look at it and say, well, he had 30 points and 10 rebounds on 10 of 17 from the floor. He had 2 assists. To even drop 30 was impressive because he had 5 fouls in the game. He caught 2 fouls quick in the first quarter. Had to sit out most of the rest of the first quarter. Came in the second. I think he had 3 fouls at the end of the first half. So he missed most of the third quarter. So for Joel to even have 30 points in this game was, impressive, I guess you could say. But the box score, same as James Harden. It looks good. But what happened on the court wasn't good. The third quarter, we got annihilated. And the third quarter was annoying to me. Because, and this isn't necessarily on Joel Embiid, but once again, in crunch time, when it matters the most, when the other team's using strategy against you, when the other team's running zone defenses, when the other team's using strategy to try to take your best scorer out of the game, what do we do to counter it? We do absolutely nothing. Nothing. There was no strategy in the third quarter whatsoever. All we were doing was forcing Joel Embiid the ball, waiting for the double team to come, and then hoping that somebody could make some kind of magic out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. That's Doc Rivers' plan. That's his strategy. That's his pecking order. Just give the ball to Joel, and hopefully for 82 games in the regular season, hopefully for 60 of them, Joel Embiid puts on a Superman cape in the fourth quarter and just makes things up off the top of his head and leads us to victory. There is no game plan. There is no strategy. The strategy cannot just be give Joel Embiid the ball and hope it all works out. That's been our strategy for 8 years with Joel Embiid on the roster. Teams adjust. We have to adjust. We have to counter adjust. There's definitely no counter adjusting. We actually have the most least likely to adjust coach in NBA history. So there you go with that. Also, should we even look at PJ Tucker's stat line? Don't look at PJ Tucker's stat line if there's sharp objects within reach, because you're going to stab yourself in the eyeballs. 21 minutes, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 0 for 1 from 3. Bro, like it's insane at this point. It is insane at this point. Are you actually telling me? And again, I see you guys arguing in the chat because somebody always comes out and says Paul Reed's not good. I don't know why you guys always clamor for Paul Reed. Nobody's saying Paul Reed's a superstar. We're saying that Paul Reed is a hustler, is one of the only good rebounders on this entire roster. And he needs minutes because he has what this team lacks. He did play 13 minutes in this game, which shocked me. But this starting PJ Tucker thing is getting out of hand. 21 minutes. 0 points, 0 assists, 2 rebounds. What is going on? PJ Tucker is getting paid $33 million to get cardio. And it's not his fault. It's how he's being used. And it's the same thing with every player that's ever spoken out about Doc Rivers after they left the team that he coached. Paul George said it clearly. He was using me wrong. Paul George, an NBA superstar. Maybe not a superstar anymore. Maybe he is. I haven't been watching the Clippers a lot this year. Doc Rivers is using PJ Tucker wrong. Doc Rivers is using Paul Reed wrong. He's using Montrezl Harrell wrong. Tyrese Maxey wasn't a great game. but Doc Rivers is using him wrong. Here's my take on Tyrese Maxey. What I saw in this game and what I have seen most of this season. Tyrese Maxey is not a part of this offense whatsoever. It is Joel Embiid, James Harden pick and roll. And yeah, I say spam the pick and roll. I say that pick and roll is the most unstoppable play in basketball, and it is. But when a team starts running zone, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when a team starts running zone, starts hedging or flashing up on Harden around the screen, starts predicting the screen? What are you going to do when the defense is already around the screen before Embiid tries to set the screen? You got to adjust. There are 0 plays run for Tyrese Maxey. 0. There are 0 plays run for Tyrese Maxey. I saw a play run for James Harden in the fourth quarter that was a double screen. That's a rarity. Just that level of creation alone in Glenn Rivers' playbook is a shock. But it was ran for James Harden. And George Niang got called for a moving screen. Why don't I ever see a play run like that for Tyrese Maxey? Why don't I ever see Tyrese Maxey get a handoff, a dribble handoff around a double screen? Why do I never see one of the quickest from the three-point line to the basket players in the entire National Basketball Association? Why do I never see this player be put in a position to use his skill sets as an advantage? Why do I never see it? Why don't I ever see Tyrese Maxey get a dribble handoff and come around a double screen? Why? I don't even see Tyrese Maxey get a handoff and come around a single screen. I don't even see Tyrese Maxey catch a dribble handoff. All I see is a pecking order. I told you guys, remember when we were playing with all the injuries and the team was playing team basketball and sharing the ball left and right and pass here, and oh my God, the chemistry and the team is gelling together, and oh my God, the ball movement's amazing, and all of this camaraderie and rah, rah, rah. I said wait till everybody comes back. It's going to go right back to what it was, Doc Rivers' pecking order. Everybody shut the fuck up, give Joel Embiid the ball, and hope that he does something. All of Tyrese Maxey's production comes from Tyrese Maxey creating something out of nothing with about 5 seconds on the shot clock. When the offensive strategy, which there is none, when the offensive, whatever the play is, the James Harden Embiid trying to force a pick and roll in a zone defense, and then Harden has to emergency pass out to Tyrese Maxey, and Maxey has to try to create something with 5 seconds on the shot clock, and half the time, he gets to the rim and gets an and one. So the 17 points from Tyrese Maxey on 6 of 13. Yeah, he missed 4 3-pointers. A couple of them he was chucking from 35 feet because he had nothing. There was no other options. We're not putting any of these players in the right positions. And I mean, I can't just sit up here and, complain about it forever. It's what we're going to see for the rest of this season at least. Now, yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is the third quarter, because I just saw a comment right here that I agree with completely. Cooled says, no excuse for the defense to be trash this game either. And the defense was trash. The effort was trash. But the third quarter is where we got completely ran out of the building. What was the score at the end of the first half? What was the score? Hold on, I got my stat sheet right here. The end of the first half, it was 67-57. Okay, we were down by 10. The second half was 66-57, but because we made a run in the fourth quarter. The third quarter, we got outscored 34-28, but there's a couple of stats we need to look at, okay? A couple of stats we need to look at in the third quarter. In the third quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder had, I can't even say this without almost throwing up. In the third quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder had 14 rebounds. They had 14 rebounds in the third quarter. The Philadelphia 76ers had 6 rebounds in the third quarter. The Oklahoma City Thunder had 14 rebounds. The Philadelphia 76ers had 6. That's a huge problem. But there's also the advanced stats because it's points in the paint and a couple of other things. In the third quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder had 14 points in the paint. The Philadelphia 76ers had 4. The Oklahoma City Thunder had 14 rebounds and 14 points in the paint in the third quarter. And 5 second chance points to go with it. That's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Where's that? Where are those charts at that they have, bro? Hold on. Full team stats. Is that what we do? And then they give me these charts. Where are the charts at? Hold on a second here. Box score, Gamecast. I forget. Full box score. I guess that's my whole take on the game. I mean, we're down by 10 at halftime. Third quarter started. James Harden and Joel Embiid started to bring us back a little bit. But then the rest of that third quarter, we got completely ran out of the building. And the 14 rebounds to 6 rebounds and the 14 points in the paint to 4 points in the paint. Yeah. I mean, and what did they shoot? 4 for 8 from 3 in the third quarter for 50%. So yeah, there you have it. That's my take on it. The Sixers can beat up on the Detroit Pistons all anybody wants them to beat up on them. The Sixers can beat up on, whatever other bad team they play on a Monday night or whatever. But when they play, and I'm not even saying OKC is a good team, but when they play a young, hungry team that has a lot of skill players and a lot of fight and a lot of heart, they just fall flat. They fall flat. They look tired. They're 25th in the NBA in rebounding. They're 25th in the NBA in transition defense. They're 27th in the NBA in defending the rim. What do you want me to say? This team's going nowhere fast, bro. What do you want me to say? What can I say? This team is going nowhere fast. Anyway, there's the phone number right there. 1-267-786-3375. I need you to call the show and tell me what you think. I need you to call the show and tell me what you think. Is there a lineup you don't like? Is there a decision you saw that you were not a fan of? Is there a reason the Sixers lost this game? Is there a topic that we can even talk about that's not just us repeating ourselves every night? Doc needs to get out. I agree. I agree. I agree. Doc is a sick man. The lack of rebounding has to be addressed. Either try putting Embiid and Reed out there together or make a damn trade. I'm sick of being out rebounded. B-Low, what up, man? Thanks for coming through. People say this comment almost every single, game. Live stream, post-game live, what have you. People always say this comment. We have to address the rebounding issue. Look, Paul Reed, is 7th in the NBA in rebounding probability. Literally, when the ball comes off the rim, the probability of Paul Reed getting the rebound is the 7th highest probability in the entire NBA. He is a very good rebounder. The Sixers have to find a way to make Paul Reed a part of this team. We cannot continue to run out PJ Tucker at power forward, grabbing 2 rebounds in 28 minutes. I mean, when Embiid was out, this psychotic coach was playing PJ Tucker at center. And I was getting red in the face, screaming about it. What am I supposed to say? I'm not even mad anymore. This is expected. Bill, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. We have the hardest remaining NBA schedule, and not just this year, but the last 5 years. You know what, Bill? That's a great thing for the 76ers. That's a great thing for them. That's a great thing for them. I don't want them to have an easy remaining schedule. I'm tired of this team playing the Detroit Pistons. I'm tired of this team playing the Charlotte Hornets on a Wednesday and then a Thursday. I'm tired of this team. I'm tired of I'm tired of Joel Embiid and James Harden putting up historic stat lines against the Shanghai Sharks and the Shippensburg University junior varsity team. I am so happy this team has the hardest remaining NBA schedule for the rest of the year. UConn 456 on the money. As she says, the harder the better. Pause. I'm glad. Because during this hardest remaining NBA schedule, there is no hiding. There is no, oh, this was a scheduled loss. There is no, oh, well, we just, came out and looked flat. Oh, we just this, we just that. There's no hiding the deficiencies of this team when they have the hardest remaining NBA schedule. So I am glad. Levita, I agree. I hope we get thrashed so Daryl is forced to do something. Exactly. This team needs to get exposed. Joel Embiid cannot single-handedly cover up the deficiencies of this team anymore. When you look again at the statistics compared to the rest of the league, they are bad in a lot of categories. Daquan Adams, you're just too positive right now. He said we can't win them all. You're just too positive right now. Look at the team stats of this team compared to the rest of the NBA. They are bottom of the barrel in rebounding, opponents' offensive rebounds, defending the rim, transition defense, and they're 16th or 17th in points per game. That is just not a championship level basketball team. It's just a fact. And now that they have the hardest remaining schedule in the NBA, they are going to get a real reality check. And it needs to happen. Because Daryl Morey knows Doc Rivers ain't getting it done. Daryl Morey knows that he went out and signed 39-year-old PJ Tucker, and Doc Rivers is playing him 35 minutes a game for no reason. Daryl Morey knows that he went out and signed Daniel House, who shouldn't even be in the NBA anymore and was probably only in the NBA because James Harden was giving him wide open threes in Houston for 5 years. The Utah Jazz on Saturday. The Utah Jazz. That's a good team. That's a damn good team. Lauri Markkanen playing his ass off. Everybody out there playing his ass off. Jordan Clarkson still coming off the bench, getting buckets, playing his ass off. The Utah Jazz were supposed to be a tanking team. Kudos to the coach over there. I would say kudos to the GM, but everybody already knows Danny Ainge is a genius who fleeced us for years, several times. Al Kopik, where's Greg Melly? Greg couldn't make it, man. Mojo, I agree. I would like for Glenn Rivers to get some kind of strategy, to have some kind of creativity, and try to fit an energy guy into the lineup. Try to fit an athletic rebounder into the lineup. They wouldn't even play Charles Bassey, bro. He's not going to put Reed next to Embiid. He's not going to do anything different. He's going to keep doing the same thing until he gets fired. And if you're saying we just can't, well, it's not that big of a deal, we can't win them all. It's how they lose the game. It's how they lost this game. They got ran out of the building because the other team has young, hungry athletes. It's not like that game against the Cleveland Cavaliers that one day where they shot 68% from three, and we could just say, well, that was just a game where everything they threw up went in, you know? I unfortunately do not have a lot of faith in this team. Something has to change. And I would assume that during this most difficult stretch in the NBA, they're going to go on a pretty serious losing streak. And they're going to get exposed. They just are. They just are. Yeah, look, man, stream the game on playback, stream the game on YouTube, and popped up and did a post game live. You guys are probably as over this game as I am. The phone lines aren't exactly popping off. So, if I got all my thoughts out and you guys got all your thoughts out, I'm going to go do something else. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all other podcast platforms. Watch the game with me on playback.tv/runitbackphilly. I'm going to put a compilation together of my reactions from this game on playback in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And I'll post that on YouTube tomorrow. That'll be fun. That'll be nice. And at least some people will get some enjoyment out of all of our frustration. And